Okay, we are back. I'm very happy to have on the Goldstein on Gelt show Jennifer Simonetti-Bryan, who is probably one of the fastest rising stars in the world of wine. She's the go-to expert on wine, and she's the author of the 1 Minute Wine Master, how you can discover 10 wines that you'll like in 60 seconds. And Jennifer, in fact, told me that at the end of the interview today, she's going to tell us which is the best kosher wine that we can find. Jennifer, real pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's go back to some fundamentals. It's a little bit funny that there are lots and lots of drinks out there. There's soda and lemonade and coffee, but what is it about wine that makes it so unique that you're an expert in it?
Well, I didn't always know about wine. My family, even though they're an Italian family, we didn't really focus on wine or alcohol at all. In fact, at a lot of Christmases or a lot of holidays, we had the Riuniti, the jug of Riuniti under the table, but that was about it. And what really turned everything around for me was when I was working in investment banking over in London. There was a presentation that I was doing during lunch, and at the executive dining room facilities there, they served an herb-crusted salmon and a Sancerre. Now, I know this now. I knew nothing about wine back then. Sancerre is a Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley in France. And it's a very crisp, delicate, light white wine. And so when I took a piece of the salmon, when you eat salmon, I don't know if you realize this and recognize this.
Okay.
When you eat salmon, it coats your tongue in kind of an oil. It's kind of a fatty fish, right?
Right.
And so when you take this crisp, delicate, light white wine, it kind of cuts through some of that fat and makes it so much more refreshing. And I never tasted this kind of combination before. And it occurred to me that the chef in the back didn't go, just give them whatever. There was a conversation to put these two things together to have that kind of reaction. And that just blew me away. So I sat there thinking, you know what? I'm working 100 hours a week for 1 hour a week. I owe it to myself to go learn a little bit more about this because it was so foreign to me. And wine in and of itself can be very transportive. So if you have a glass of Chianti, it can kind of transport you to Tuscany because you can smell some of the herbaceousness and oregano in the wine. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of elements that can really make you feel like you're there. So that really fascinated me about wine.
Wow. Okay, so that really got you involved in it. You mentioned that you were in investment banking, and people do talk about wine as an investment. Is that something that regular people should get into, or only people who really know wine?
Well, I think for the most part, if you've got a lot of money, absolutely, might as well. People who have money will always have money and might as well make an investment in wine. But wine in general has a really high return on investment, but not necessarily all categories. So, for example, when my parents bought some Corbel and they left it above their refrigerator for about 11 years, that's not going to be worth a whole heck of a lot. Mm-hmm. It's only a $5, sparkling wine from California. But Bordeaux, Burgundy, in general, Champagne, meaning from the actual region of Champagne in France, and vintage Champagne and vintage port are the general categories. But other than that, and maybe some cult cabs, but that can change. But it's not equal across all brands and across all wines. So you have to be really careful about what it is that you're collecting and why you are collecting wine. Because if I'm going to invest in wine, now I'm a huge white Burgundy fan. I love white Burgundy. That's Chardonnay, region of Burgundy. And I love that wine, but I wouldn't invest in it, right? So, but it can be hard because a lot of people who invest in wine have an emotional attachment to it, right?
Are they investing, by the way, because they're going to invest and sell? In other words, when we've spoken to art dealers, they say you shouldn't buy a piece unless you actually want to have it hanging on your wall. The parallel would be in wine is you shouldn't buy wine unless you actually want to drink it. Is that the same thing, or are we really talking about buying to hold it and then ultimately sell it?
Right. When you really collect, you buy it to hold it to ultimately sell it. It's not necessarily your favorite, and that's what most people do. They go into, like I said, I love white Burgundy, but I couldn't buy cases and cases and cases, thinking that, oh, maybe in about 10 years I can sell it and make a fortune. And the worst case scenario is I can drink it. The problem is that it may not necessarily be the category that's hot, the one that's your personal preference. So if you're going to make an investment, take yourself emotionally out of the decision, just like you would with stocks, right? You know, you don't necessarily buy stocks on an emotional basis. You do the math, you look at the trends, and you invest in things that are going to give you a return. The same thing with wine.
Okay, we are talking with Jennifer Simonetti-Bryan, who is the author of The 1 Minute Wine Master, a true expert on wine. You very well may have seen her on TV, on Fox News and Bloomberg, and even in Oprah's magazine, talking about wine. In fact, in just a few minutes, she tells us about which is the hottest kosher wine out there. Let's go to some of the basics, just about the terms that people use. You know, in fact, sometimes you see, even in comedy sketches, people will joke, well, you know, a wine might have a nose or good legs. What do these terms really mean, and where are they coming from?
Right. When legs or tears, they're also called tears and legs. When you swirl wine in a glass, what that actually does, it creates these little droplets that come down. We call those tears or legs. And way back when, people used to say, oh, I can tell this is a really good glass of wine because it's got great legs. I think people just enjoy saying it's got great legs. It actually doesn't relate to the quality of the wine. It relates to the actual amount of alcohol, because the higher the alcohol level in the wine, the more legs it's going to have, or the more tears are going to show on the outside of that glass. But it has actually nothing to do with the quality of wine. So those are some interesting, like words like bouquet. Mm-hmm. Some people look at that term and they think it relates just to the aroma of wine, and it can be synonymous with it. But really what bouquet is really referring to is the aromas of aged wine. So it's not necessarily what, fresh right out of the gate wine. It's the aromas of wines that have been aged for a period of time. So yeah, you can find a lot of these terms in my book. They do have some interesting ones. They do, like in I was talking about Sancerre, Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. There is an aroma that it's known for called cat pee.
Wow.
And, yeah, this is actually not a negative thing. It's
not something I'd want to buy. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember my father saying, I am not drinking that wine if it smells like cat pee. So I was like,
but the fact is, certainly the way that one person tastes a wine is going to be different from another. It seems very subjective. How can you have a language, if there's so much difference in the way people look at it?
That's one of the biggest issues in learning about wine, is the translation issue. Now, I have an identical twin, and she can't pick up a glass and go, oh yes, this is absolutely the 1996 Chassagne Montrachet. I can do that because I trained over 10 years in order to do that. Mm-hmm. But she can't. And one of the things is I trained for it, she didn't, and I have the language amongst the same as I guess, wine professionals. It's a language that you have to learn. And what I call, I remember being in wine class, and there was this one woman who always used to argue with me, and I never know why anybody wine. She would say, I don't get raspberries, I get cherry. I'm sitting there thinking, boy, they're both red fruit. What's the big deal? So, but it's a translation issue. What she called raspberry, I called cherry, or vice versa. You have to have some kind of common language there to be able to say, hey, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
All right. Jennifer, we're getting near the end, and I know that you agree that you would tell us what's going on in the world of kosher wine. So what is the kosher wine for people to be buying today?
Oh, yeah. So, kosher wines, I have to be honest, it's been a huge surprise for me over the last 10 years, and even the last 5 years, that what we get all around the world is so much better than what you guys just keep to yourselves here in Israel. We're starting to actually see some of those in the United States. But some of my favorites, Goose Bay New Zealand wine, It makes a great kosher Sauvignon Blanc. I believe they make a Pinot Noir as well that's really quite good. And if you haven't had New Zealand Pinot Noir, it's really gorgeous. There's also another New World kosher producer named Covenant that I love. They make a great Chardonnay from Sonoma Mountain. So if you like California wine, but you want it to be kosher, I would look for Covenant. But one of my favorite producers of kosher wine is Tishbe and Binyamina. So those are some of my favorites. Wow, if you're looking for some rich, bold wines.
I used to live in the Binyamina region of Israel, so there you go. And there were a lot of grapevines all around.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep trying to get over there, and I really want to do it. It's on the bucket list.
All right, well, when you come, we'll have a wine tour. We've been talking to Jennifer Simonetti-Bryan, who's a real wine expert, the author of The 1 Minute Wine Master. Jennifer, in the last few seconds, just tell me, how can people follow your work?
Oh, well, you can go to my website, jennifersimonetti.com, or you can go to the Great Courses, because I have 5 DVD series with them that you can learn about wine, and it's all in the comfort of your own living room. So you can get the DVDs. It's called The Everyday Guide to Wine, and it's at www.thegreatcourses.com.
Okay, and what we'll do is we'll put a link to that on the show notes at the Goldstein on Gelt website, goldsteinongelt.com. Jennifer, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
You've been listening to the Goldstein on Gelt Show with money maven Doug Goldstein. Doug's weekly radio show is heard around the world, but if you miss it, you can download the podcast at www.goldsteinongelt.com. The Goldstein on Gelt Show gives you up-to-date financial ideas so you can get on the path to financial freedom. If you'd like your questions answered on the air or off, send Doug an email to doug@profile-financial.com. It's your money for your future, so join Doug every week to build your wealth on the Goldstein on Gelt Show.